Other societies have already gotten there, but America's not going to reach that point until the well-being of your neighbor supersedes the well-being of your bank account. Before I go into that, let me make a couple of terms clear. Money itself is really just social energy. It's the ability to get labor, goods, or other things to move outside the will of another person, outside of whether they approve of you, whether they like you, or otherwise. Because point blank, if you got a job fixing pipes and I need a pipe fixed, it don't matter how much I hate you, that money's gonna make the decision. Please excuse the specter on my shoulder. Thank you. At the moment, our society leans into individualism in a stupid way. But that barrier removal of money allows for conflicting societies to cooperate. Listen, Ghost. If you don't chill. I said chill. Chill. Thank you. Because that removal of barrier is more important to a lot of us, i.e. convenience, than cooperation, we tend to lean that way. Truth be told, it is easier on the surface. But once you are more concerned about the well-being of your neighbor, you kind of forget about money. If the kids down the street that you adore don't have food, you're not about to just work. You're not going to sit here and concern yourself with how many beans you have in the bank. You're going to go give them a few beans. If the person down the street that you care about breaks their ankle, you're not about to charge them out the ass to give them some crutches if you got some. You'll just hand them the fuck over. The same can be said with a lot of the skills and resources that we have as individuals. If someone needs it and we're not using it at the time, there's a good chance we'll be willing to give it. But due to the way that money slows us down, we don't. We see it as they can take the money, go get the solution somewhere else, or the solution will be provided, or, well, we just can't help. A fanciful example is Israel and Gaza right now. The mass majority of Americans, if given a chance to go to Israel and protest directly in front of Netanyahu's house, would do so. Not a lot of us would jump into the war zone, but a lot of us would. I don't have to mention payment for that. They'll do it because it's what they want to do for other people. Even if we don't know someone, seeing them die is something we don't want to see. So we will do what we can to prevent that. But if it's your job and you're not getting paid for it, then you're going to have a much bigger barrier because money is still the primary deciding factor, not the well-being of the people that you're supposed to be helping. This is the same all the way up the chain from your local HOA person to the president. And that is still because their power relies on money. Once the object of money is removed from the equation, then it's just a matter of what you can do, what you will do, and what you won't do. And as a lot of men have learned over the years, what you won't do, somebody else will. Personally, I believe America's headed for a crisis where we have the opportunity to do exactly that. Money is going to mean basically nothing here, real simple. Once all of the wealth is in one hand, it does not change hands again. And you have to find a new way to decide who's going to do what, who has what belongs to who, blah, 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 blah. What will we do once money is removed? We might create another currency and then try to box them out and just repeat the cycle. Or we can go to a more agrarian society where we just grow our own food and keep to ourselves. Or we can take advantage of the world that we've built and start to provide for people based solely on the amount of resources available. The idea that we're overpopulated is foolish. No, we're not. We produce enough food to throw away a whole lot. Most of us still eat too fucking much. In America and in most capitalist societies, we have crises of abundance. Too much shit being made and not enough buyer. Once that overproduction is stopped because there's no profit motive in making way too much shit, what happens to the resources? They're still available. When people are no longer forced to work 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week in order to pay rent to somebody who took out a loan, who then needs to make sure that they're going to keep paying that loan so that the bank doesn't eat them, what's left? Housing. And if you happen to own several houses, well, you can give those away and trade for labor or what the fuck ever. Or you can try to sit on them and maintain them when nobody's paying you rent. The disruption of the system is absolutely necessary in order to cause the birth of a new one. But we have to recognize the system for what it is, or we're just going to create a successor to it. The same thing, but stronger. So when it comes to harm reduction, or as you said, healing production, what would that look like? It would look like, instead of focusing on how to make people better in prison, is keeping them out in the first place. It would look like, instead of having to pay for healthcare, doctors are simply paid straight up by the state and everyone can walk in when they need it. It would look like childcare being free. It would look like food being available damn near for free. It will look like a quote-unquote tax system that is a major burden on the excessively wealthy, but not on those who have nothing. And how would that be done without money? Well, the resources that they have. People have visualized socialism as everybody pours everything into a bucket and everybody reaches in when we need it. People have viewed communism as everybody pours everything into a bucket and someone else decides what you get when you need it. And people have decided anarchy is just do what you want to, which to a degree it is, but only if the society that you are part of, that anarchy society, allows. But once the focus is on the well-being of your neighbor, not just your friend, all of that can evolve. I can't say specifically what the outcome would be, but I do know a couple things that'll change. No more $800 rides in an ambulance to the hospital. Vasectomies are probably going to be free. The cost of food doesn't inflate every couple of months. We wouldn't have industries of mass polluters actively fighting things that would advance society and increase technological growth to protect their profits. They would instead invest in that growth. I often say that the best king is completely unconcerned with his own needs and is obsessed with his people. But in our modern society, that king is simply the future. We don't have to answer to a person. We don't answer to a nation. We don't answer to a flag, a crown, or anything of the sort. We answer to those who are coming behind us. And when we are more concerned with the well-being of those next to and behind us than we are with our bank accounts, because we have access to the resources that we need, well, healing is produced. It's not hard to imagine. It just takes a little bit of faith. And it's a faith I cannot ask y'all to have until you can have it yourselves and each other. Until that day comes, though, we'll keep on dealing with the half defeat that is harm reduction until we can start to produce healing, lowering the cost until that healthcare is universal for everyone. I mean, shit, the cat distribution system works pretty freely, don't it?